If you don't want to hear the voice, then you can mute it. The next day, in Jungkook's room, Jin was getting Jungkook ready for going to Jimin's and Taehyung's competition. He was getting more and more concerned as he noticed that Jungkook was coughing repeatedly. He checked Jungkook to see if he was having a fever, but he wasn't having fever. Jin, why is he coughing repeatedly? Worried, Jin said to himself, being worried about Jungkook. Suddenly he noticed how Jungkook was struggling to breathe. Jin immediately panicked. Jin, what's happening to him? He said, picking Jungkook up. Jin, Yoonji, come here quick. Hearing Jin's shouts, Yoonji came in running and saw that Jin was carrying Jungkook, who was struggling to breathe. Yoonji immediately ran to him. What's happening to him? Worried. Jin, I don't know, but we have to take him to the hospital right now. At the hospital, Jungkook was immediately taken to the emergency room as the doctors saw his condition. Jin and Yoonji were waiting outside anxiously. Jin was constantly crying and Yoonji was comforting him, although he himself was really worried for Jungkook. Hi Young, don't cry I am sure he will be fine. Yoonji hugged Jin and started patting his back. After 10 minutes, Jin stopped crying and now they both were praying and waiting for the doctor to come out. Soon they saw the doctors and the nurses coming out. They both immediately ran to them. Jin, Dr. what happened to him? Is he fine now? Doctor, we have examined Jungkook thoroughly, and it appears that he's experiencing asthma symptoms. We have given him some medicines and injections to stabilize his condition. But doctor, how can he have asthma suddenly? Doctor, did anyone in your family's history had asthma? Jin, our mom had asthma. Doctor, that could be a contributing factor then. Family history plays a role in asthma development. Doctor, when will he be discharged? Doctor, he is currently sleeping due to the effects of the medicine. He can be discharged when he wakes up. I will prescribe you some medicines and make sure he eats all of them by time. And don't take him near any place with smoke. Jin and Yoonji nodded their heads. After an hour, they both were sitting in Jungkook's room waiting for him to wake up. Their hearts were sinking seeing their little cookie in pain. Suddenly Jin noticed that Jungkook was opening his eyes. Jin, Yoonji, call the doctor. Yoonji nodded his head and immediately called the doctor. Soon the doctor came and he checked Jungkook. Doctor, he is breathing fine now. He can be discharged, but do make sure he doesn't cry much as it can trigger his asthma. Smile. They nodded their heads. At home, Jin just fed Jungkook his medicines and then he made him sleep and carefully put him in his crib and covered him with a blanket. He then kissed Jungkook's forehead lovingly. Jin, sleep well, my angel. Suddenly, as his eyes went towards the clock, he remembered something. His eyes widened, realizing that it was past 1 p.m. now, which means that Jimin's and Taehyung's competition was already over and now it was time to pick them up from school. Jin, if they are going to be really upset, worried, he then hurriedly made his way outside the room. In the living room, Jin, Yoonji, I'm going to pick up the kids from school. Take care of Jungkook. I already fed him the medicine and he is sleeping right now. Realized about the competition. Hi Young, we forgot about their competition. Jin, I just realized now. They are really going to be upset. Soon Jin hurriedly left towards the school after talking to Yoonji for a few minutes. At school, Jin was waiting for Jimin, Taehyung, Namjoon and Hoseok to come out of the school. Suddenly he saw them coming out. He could clearly see Taehyung's and Jimin's upset face. He immediately went to them and picked both of them while kissing their cheeks. But Jimin and Taehyung immediately turned their faces from Jin. I don't want to talk with you, shout. Jin was a bit surprised hearing this. He knew that they both would be upset, but he didn't knew that they would be this much upset. Jin, Ban, we couldn't come because Jungkook. Jaemin, you guys only care about Jungkook. Jaemin shouted as he got off from Jin's arms and made his way towards the car.
To be continued.